Sudduth, the President and CEO of MySci. We're glad to have such a great event here. We're really appreciative of Chad Putnam and all his volunteers who helped make this day possible. I think we ought to give Chad a nice hand, by the way. And I want to remind everybody that, you know, MySci is all about STEM, but no one ever flunked a trip to the Science Museum, so you're all okay. MySci's done a lot of amazing things in the last few years. Behind us is the brand new Challenger Center. You may have read that we've just cemented an alliance with the Dudley Observatory, and we have the resident Dudley Observatory astronomer here we had several hundred people here the other night for the eclipse. And to show you how much we need to work on STEM education, I did have one lady call me and said, "I missed it, could you do it again?" So we're open every day from 9 to 5, except for Sunday we're open, and then we're just open noon to 5. We'd love for you to come back, bring your families, bring your friends. We have a wealth of programs. STEM education is really important to us. We know that learning is lifelong. Be sure and see our brand new exhibit, Design, Build, and Create, which is right behind you as you go in the gallery. It's now my pleasure to welcome Mayor Gary McCarthy, who's, of course, the mayor of Schenectady and my good friend.
Thank you, Matt. I want to welcome everyone here today. Again, thank Chad for really coordinating, being the driving force for this. I want to acknowledge some of my colleagues from City Hall, City Council President Peggy King, Councilwoman Marion Porterfield. And you know, the history of this country, the history of this city, some of our neighboring cities, was built on manufacturing. And it was a proud history. It provided stability. It enabled a lot of great things to happen. It set an agenda that this country drove, and really the world followed. We went through a period, somewhat of a decline. Different factors were in play, but we're starting to see manufacturing come back in this country. And it's just great that we've designated a day a week so that we can focus on those opportunities and the potential that exists, again, within our community, the region, and also the nation, to reinvigorate, to create ideas, to market products that, again, drive a global economy. So I thank everyone for being here. It was a great panel that just happened before we are doing this press conference. I see the enthusiasm in all the students that are here, some of the community leaders, manufacturers that are here today. It's really, I think, setting a strong foundation for a great future. And I thank everyone for making this day happen and look forward to working with you in the future. Now I have the opportunity and pleasure to introduce a friend, a partner, a great community leader, the mayor of the city of Troy, Lou Rosamilia.
Good morning, and thank you. Thank you, Mayor McCarthy, for those kind words. It's great to be with you today as we kick off this manufacturing week, and especially today being the manufacturing day. As Gary was saying, you know, our nation was built on the back of manufacturing. And Troy was a very rich city, as was Schenectady. But as we went through, Troy became one of the wealthiest cities in the world. And as a result, it came up with the nickname, the Collar City. And that came about because of the detachable collar. All right? So we got even some props for you this morning. But these were actually made in the city of Troy. And the idea there was that the women just got tired of doing the washing the collars and the shirt separately and everything. So they said, well, keep wearing the shirt, we'll just wash the collar. Because as you know, gentlemen, what gets the dirtiest? It's your collar. Right? But not only the collar, but also, let me get another prop here. Cuffs. All right? Now, this happens to be a very unusual item. This was sent to someone back in 1902. What they did is they took a cuff, right, and sent it to a friend and said, consider yourself cuffed for not replying to my last letter. George Kelly. Right? And this went to an attorney. So I guess attorneys still don't respond to people. But this was from 1902. And a friend of mine came across that and said, you know, we might be really interested in doing something like this. And I said, yeah, I'd love to have it, thank you. But flashing now forward to today, where we stand today, and again, as Gary said, we're on the cusp of manufacturing again. We're very fortunate to have Rensselaer County, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in the city of Troy in Rensselaer County, and making a promotion and promoting and building on this concept. Recently, we just opened our first makerspace in downtown Troy, and if you haven't had a chance to get over there, I really recommend going to the new facility in the Quackenbush building called the Center of Gravity. And what it does is it fosters startup programs. It gives opportunities to those people that have dreams but really don't know what direction to take that dream. There are other individuals there to serve them, to work with them, to give them ideas. It could be something maybe in welding, it might be something in architecture, it may be something in producing lights that help in hospitals to prevent bacteria growth in a hospital room. That's what we're talking about, manufacturing. And we are so excited about the city of Troy in having the Center of Gravity located there. So I'm encouraged by this renewed push to not only celebrate the region's storied history, but also encourage future generations to get involved and stay involved. It's now going to be my pleasure to introduce Michael Lobsinger, and listen to this one. Michael Lobsinger, Interim Center Director for Center for Economic Growth, Business Growth, Service, and Manufacturing Extension Partnerships. Wow. It's all yours, sir.
Well, you know, it's easy for me to say, you know, Center Director for MEP program. So.
They didn't give me that.
Welcome, everybody. Congressman, thank you for joining us. Representatives from Hudson Valley and Schenectady Community College, as well as everybody from the school districts, BOCES, but especially the manufacturers and the students that came today. This day is really about you, so just wanted to highlight that. Thank you, Mayor McCarthy, for hosting the event, and Dr. Sudeth for having us have this venue at my side. A little bit about Manufacturing Day. You know, it's an initiative of many partners. We have the National Institute of Standards for Technology, who is really the head of the Manufacturing Extension Partnership, the Fabricators of Manufacturers International Association, the National Association of Manufacturers, as well as manufacturers and educational institutions across the country. All have a common goal to educate the public, and through manufacturing open houses, tours, and events. The Center for Economic Growth is a designated regional manufacturing extension partnership center for our region and our 8 counties. Our focus really is to work with manufacturers and help them grow and help them become more efficient and really show why this industry is important to the U.S. There are some statistics I'm going to share with you, so don't mind the boring statistics. Nationally, for every dollar spent in manufacturing, $1.48 is put into the economy. It's a pretty good impact. Additionally, manufacturing comprises of 12% of the U.S. GDP. In our 8-county capital region, we are home to 881 manufacturers. 117 of those are actually in Schenectady County. It's a good number, isn't it? In addition, it employs 32,000 people in our region, and 5,700 of those are in the county of Schenectady. So, manufacturing careers range from engineering, operations managers, fabricators, welders, sales and marketing, IT, human resources, and much more. It is a very broad range of careers that are available in manufacturing. Regionally, the average annual wage for manufacturers is $53,000, which is pretty significant. If you're an entry-level engineer coming into manufacturing, it's $60,000. In closing, Manufacturing Day seeks to improve the public awareness of manufacturing careers and expand the understanding of its value to the U.S. economy. We continue to change the perception of manufacturing. Employees of manufacturers are a culture of teams, creators, makers, innovators, and they take pride in the outcome they create. They head home at the end of the day with a sense of accomplishment, and they are the lifeblood of the things that we use. I encourage all of you to visit the Manufacturing Day website, mfgday.com. Take part and see what's happening in the region and share that with your community. Again, thank you for everyone for spreading this awareness of U.S. manufacturing. I have the pleasure of introducing somebody who has been a great proponent in our region for manufacturing and for technology. Every time I see him at an event, he is so engaged with the people at the booths. Congressman Paul Tonko.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael, and thank you to CEG for all you do. It's great to join with everybody here in celebration of manufacturing, to be with our local mayors and our local elected officials, to be with Mac, our host, to be with CEG reps, the higher ed and ed community, their leaders. Thank you so much for putting together the interests that we celebrate today, and that being manufacturing. I'm also joined by two of my coworkers, Marilyn Smith in the back of the room, who does economic development work in the district for the congressional district, the 20th district, and Cora Schroeder, who is our Schenectady operations person over at City Hall. And so I thank both of them for being outstanding coworkers. This morning, I have to lead by telling you, when I'm asked on the House floor or anywhere in my travels about the area that I represent, I define it as the confluence of the Hudson and Mohawk rivers. I think that sets up a good image. And then I further explain that we are the gateway called the Erie Canal that sparked the westward movement and an industrial revolution. So the pioneer spirit is part of our DNA, not just this region, but the country. But primarily, we can focus on that DNA pioneer spirit for this region. And so I think it's important as we celebrate manufacturing today that we dispel those notions of manufacturing that don't accurately record it. People will say it's dirty, dumb, dangerous, and declining. Nothing could be farther from the truth. They don't know manufacturing. And all of us who are involved somehow in forming the career paths of individuals need to be invested in that journey to understand that manufacturing is safe, it's smart, it's sustainable, and it's surging. I think that's what we need to give as a message. And when we look at the international sweepstakes today, the marketplace in which our industries and manufacturers and small businesses function is one about public-private partnerships, one about investment in making the soundest process available as we continue to produce goods that this country and the world needs, and then beyond what we've already developed, providing for the vision of those products that we will require into the future. So what does that mean for us? Well, we've been dubbed one of the hottest hubs in the country for innovation job growth, clean energy, high-tech job growth. That's manufacturing of a special order. We've also been dubbed to be one of the 4 strongest markets in the country for green product exportation. So that's good news for us. That is something that feathers our nest, and we need to underpin that with sound investments. Why? Because manufacturing is this new version of job growth and security. You know, Michael touted some statistics here that are very important to recognize. When we look at the impact on our economy, $1.7 billion worth of salaries in this Capital District region. That reflects about 11% of the total salaries of the region, but only 7% of the jobs. So he's accurate when he states the average per capita salary is strong in manufacturing. And a changed environment. Today, much of manufacturing is about knowing the skill sets that are high-tech related, having the research that will further develop prototypes and then products that meet the test for our manufacturing base. It gives us new opportunities to grow new product design. You know, if we no longer make and manufacture buttons or brooms, for instance, where they're doing it someplace else, well, we now have the sophistication as an intellectual capacity called the USA to go and develop products that are not yet in the marketplace, and to develop processes that are much smarter. We can win by being the smarter product, absolutely. And so the investment in higher education and education, the STEM focus, and it's so good to see STEM students here today, and to know of those districts that are championing STEM. We need to encourage that science, technology, engineering, and math investment to make students aware, again, of what career paths are available, and to have those skill sets at their fingertips so they can further develop along the education path to be the force that we need. The research absolutely is essential, and certainly other tools that will build not only our physical and capital infrastructure needs, but our human infrastructure needs. All of those are very valuable. You know, it's said that wherever manufacturing exists, those around them are about 12% more productive. So we're an inspiring tool. We're that lightning rod that brings about the best in us, enhances productivity. So it's about knowing what manufacturing is all about today, and it's about having public-private partnerships. I'll close with this. Where I've seen failure with some of our American industry is where there's been an unlevel playing field, where we have needed to invest however we can in a fair and level outcome. I know that with some competitors that our American manufacturers had with perhaps China, they have to compete with the forces of the government buying the building, paying the utility bills, further subsidizing the industry, and then manipulating the currency. We can't sustain that. So it's important for us to have fair trade, not free trade. It's important for us to invest in worker development, making certain that apprenticeship programs, K-12 programs, college programs are looking at state-of-the-art opportunities and skill enhancement that will enable us to be robustly competitive. And then it's about moving forward with issues like the Export-Import Bank. It's deplorable that we would walk away from exporting what we've manufactured here as goods and give away 500 jobs to other countries' workers simply because of the recalcitrance of Congress to get it done, because an export-import bank in their mind is quasi-governmental. That is foolishness of the highest order. And so we need to go forward with all of these efforts with sound public-private partnerships to make it happen. You know, again, going back to my original statement, we are a pioneer spirit. I was born and raised in Amsterdam, the Carpet City. I have the good fortune to represent the host city today, which is the city that lights and halls the world. And I claim as my eastern boundary of the district, Troy, which is the collar city. You saw that expert presentation this morning. So I have all these wonderful bits of history and heritage that inspire me and fill my voice when I speak to the future of manufacturing. It was our heyday. It is our heyday. It can be an even stronger heyday when we invest wisely, and believe in public-private partnerships, and bolster the strength of the American worker to have a career path, can be robustly successful. So I thank you all for this celebration, this focus on what is a very important part, a very important sector of our regional, state, and national economy. Thank you. Now, to leadership that we need in the higher ed community. I recently developed a new friendship with a new individual who now calls the Capital Region home, a delightful soul who has a great laser-sharp focus on higher education and its needs, and a spirit that just immediately engages you into sound discussion about the future of our region. None other than Dr. Steady Muno, new president of Schenectady County Community College. Steady, my friend, please.
Thank you, Congressman Tonko, for your kind introduction. I had the privilege of visiting with a congressman several weeks ago in his Washington, D.C., and if you haven't been there, I'm telling you, it's a treat. Incredibly welcoming, made us feel at home, and feel like I've won a friend for years, so thank you.
Thank you.
I also like to thank Mayor McCarthy, as well as other elected officials and educational and community leaders who are here today. And of course, a big thank you to the Museum of Science and Innovation and our host, President Sadath. What a wonderful resource to have here in our community. And we all appreciate your hosting this informative and important event. Really, we are here and we're talking about access. We may not use that word, but it's really about access. And the community college, one of our strategic anchors that is emerging from 2015 to 2020 is this issue of access. And access is not only a geographical issue, it is also a financial issue, an educational issue as well. So we are celebrating access here and making a commitment by being here to the issue of access. And as the mayor mentioned, this city has a rich heritage of manufacturing and the spirit of innovation. And manufacturing is alive and well here in our community. And it is as well at the community college. I firmly believe that education is a foundation for success in all fields, including manufacturing. At SCCC, we provide high-quality education at an affordable price. It's not cheap, but affordable. Making education accessible to everyone who is looking to learn and get the training they need for a new career and get ahead in their current field. We change lives and we change generations. Our goal is to give students across the area the tools they need to graduate, get a job, and contribute to a growing economy. We are training the workforce of tomorrow, and we want to send them into the world with the knowledge that they need to succeed. We place a significant emphasis on workforce development because we are educating the workforce of the 21st and the 22nd century with innovation, and as the Congressman said, forward-thinking programs that must set our institution apart. Programs such as supply and chain management, nanoscale materials technology, aviation science and criminal justice, as well as the liberal arts and widely held culinary arts and hospitality programs. I should also say that we are proud to participate in the Startup New York programs. As you know, Governor Cuomo recently selected 2 SCCC-sponsored companies, Felicity and Lottery Rewards, for the program. And we are closely working with Metroplex and the New York Biz Lab to make this happen. And we are so pleased to partner with these 2 companies to create jobs and internships opportunities for our students and our community. And I'm proud to say we are being recognized for our work, for our innovative thinking and our academic programs at the state and the state of New York, as well as the federal government, believe in what we are doing. As you may have read, recently we received a state grant of $150,000 to renovate, furnish, and install an elevator in the Kindle Workforce Development Building. Part of this building will be used to create Workforce Development Training Center and a new office space for our Workforce Development Division. And that's what we're talking about this morning. And just a few days ago, again, thanks to the Congressman and our senators, we received very exciting news and announced by our federal elected officials who represent our community and work tirelessly on our behalf, that the community college has secured a $3 million healthcare job training grant, and the grant is renewable for 5 years, bringing the total award to $15 million right here. And this new grant will help fund more than 2,000 students over 5 years and provide students with pathways, credentials, and degrees required for a variety in high-demand positions in the healthcare industry. And this will allow us to continue the program we've had in place since receiving the similar grant in 2020. And this is what Schenectady County Community College is about, providing tools to our students so that they can go out and work and be productive citizens of our county and of our country. And I'm telling you that this is an exciting time for the college and for this community. And I'm proud to be part of this community and to now make this home. And thank you for celebrating with us the National Manufacturing Week. And with that, I want to introduce my friend, my partner, Kathy Spring, the Superintendent of Schools in Mohonasen School District. Kathy.
Thank you, and good morning. It's interesting that I didn't know what the panel would really talk about today, so it's great for me that it aligns with how I'm going to start out. For those of you who don't know me, I'll tell you right up front that I'm a real dreamer, and I'm very persistent. Even as a child, I was always willing to ask the why question, and I was always reminded to no avail that I should color within the lines and use the colors that the teacher was using. I always try to make sense of things by giving them a context and trying to connect them to things that are relevant to me. That's how I learn, and that's how I believe students learn as well. That's why when I started at Mohonasen nearly 15 years ago, I knew immediately it was the right fit. Mohonasen is a place where people are encouraged to think differently, to color outside of the lines, and to be creative if it makes sense for students. And it's great to hear children in the background because that's really what drives us, our belief about children. It's also a place where we try to flip challenges into opportunities and look at things from different perspectives. We know that the world is changing dramatically, and so is the landscape for public education. Schools have faced years of budget cuts, yet we know our students and the workforce deserve more and demand more. We've been forced to rethink what a public high school is and what it should be. In fact, we would contend that we need to start thinking about high school as a limitless variety of programs, not a place. We have to think in unique ways, break from traditional thinking and structures, stereotypes, so that we're not constrained by preconceived notions. We have to let ourselves be imaginative and ask the why, or better yet, the why not questions. At Mohonasen, I've been fortunate to have a Board of Education and colleagues that are willing to dream along with me and to think differently about high school. We have a vision of offering students, not only in our district, but in the whole region, more opportunities that are hands-on and relevant so that they can be employable. Isn't that really what education is all about? In order to accomplish this vision, we've sought out partnerships. We've developed programs that will give our students real-world training, preparing them not only for the jobs of today, but most importantly for the jobs of tomorrow that we can't even imagine right now. We found very solid partners with Capital Region BOCES and Schenectady County Community College, and through these partnerships, we're able to bring through the Center for Advanced Technology, and those are my props, this picture and that picture over there. We believe that this state-of-the-art center may be the first of its kind in the state and maybe even in the nation. I'm happy to report that this summer we broke ground, and as we speak, the steel structure is being erected. And we plan to open our doors to numerous regional high school students next September. We believe that our center is public education's answer to the middle school's gap and the manufacturing jobs crisis that we're here talking about today. The center will offer a variety of programs, including machining, welding, alternative energy, nanotechnology, and health sciences. The idea of the school is that college, high school, and adult learners will be able to take advantage of world-class high-tech programs in an environment that simulates the real world. We've been working with partners, business partners, to ensure that we're integrating the skills that they're looking for as well. So in closing, I want to thank all of our partners and the leaders at Mohonasen for working to develop and carry out this vision, or I call it the dream, and to the entire Mohonasen community for supporting the project that we know will be a tremendous asset to our students, our families, our area businesses, and our regional economy. And now it's my pleasure to introduce a partner and colleague, Dr. Lynn Wells from Capital Region BOCES.
Thank you so much. I have no props, but I have passion for this, so that is my prop. First of all, I just have to say the panel again this morning was just absolutely amazing, and it speaks to who we are at Capital Region BOCES. We really look at effective, efficient programming and career paths for all students, and that's what we're talking about. And so this morning just set us up perfectly for the rest of the day. But we're not here to talk about BOCES or other things. We're here to talk about manufacturing. But we have to remember the children that we're speaking to, the children that we're preparing, the adults that we are retooling, they need different skills. They need different skills than my grandfather, who was a shirt maker in Troy. They need different skills. So in the last 20 to 30 years, things have changed dramatically. That's what we have to be talking about. That's what we have to be envisioning for everyone, because it is not dirty anymore. It is not unsafe, and that is the message that we have to get out there. I have a 16-year-old. Not all 16-year-olds believe that, so we need to be talking about that. So when Mohonasen approached us with their vision, we jumped to that. We wanted to be a part of that. That's where we wanted to be. This partnership, along with all the other partners in building these programs, is right where schools need to be. It is allowing us to take our programs to the next level and to meet the needs of area employers. The beauty for the Center for Advanced Technology is that through these models, these world-class high-tech programs offered at one local high school can now be offered up to many students in various schools around the Capital District. And as Kathleen said, we have to envision high schools differently. More opportunities for more students, that's our mission in this project and as we move forward. I want to thank Congressman Tonko, Mayor McCarthy, and everyone else involved in Manufacturing Day for our educational community and the economic opportunities it presents to our area. It's so important, and it speaks to the power of partnerships. With that, I would like to introduce the last person. And again, it's a large title, so let me read it. Louise Atchison, Director of Business Development, CEG, Capital Region MEP Center, and Executive Director, Chief Executives Network for Manufacturing. Did I get it all?
Good morning. Honestly, we don't specialize in long titles at CEG. We specialize in acronyms. It's my great honor to have worked with manufacturing and technology companies throughout the Capital Region for the past 13 and a half years. And one of the best parts of my job, and I bet yours as well, Congressman, is to go out and see the manufacturers and understand exactly what they're doing to advance this great state and this great country. And my hat's off to them each and every day. The committee that Chad led very astutely and smartly started a year ago here in the city of Schenectady with a very small beachhead. And we've grown it this year. We've expanded across the river to Rensselaer County, and we partnered with Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute School of Engineering to develop a series of tours with a few schools this year that we hope to expand next year. Those companies, in no particular order, Specialty Silicone Products, will be joined by students from Ballston Spa Central School Districts, their high school students. And those students are going to get a factory tour, but they're also going to work to identify ways to reduce or use waste of SSP's SEPTA product line. Silicone SEPTA is that thing that you stick a needle through when you need to take a shot, among other things. Applied Robotics, right here in Schenectady County, will be joined by Burnt Hills Ballston Lake Central School District, grades 9 through 12. Those students will tour, by the way, 40 to 60 students at that one. Those students will split up into groups for tours, and they'll experience a hands-on activity, demo box, breaker bar testing, programming actuator, etc., while the other group starts the tour. Yes, kids, what you learn in school Geometry, algebra, physics, chemistry, it all fits, and you will use it in your life. Greno Industries, again, right here in Schenectady County, Chalmont Central School District. Greno will share the history of that company, approaching 50 years, run by its second generation. And the students will have a hands-on activity, most likely a tooling or calibrating activity, and possibly produce a CAD drawing from a student. And STS Steel and Automated Dynamics have joined forces because of their proximity to host Mohonasen. 80 students will be touring those two companies split up into groups, and they will experience bridge making as well as composites. Now, can you imagine that? That's an incredible, incredible thing. That's today. Tuesday, October 6th, RPI will be hosting one of their graduates that now works at Sikorsky, and they will meet with middle school students and focus on those students, give them tours of labs, etc. That talk from Ryan Patry is going to be streamed through the RPI website. So if you go to rpi.edu and search for that, you can tap into it. But that's not all. We've been talking about today as National Manufacturing Day, and it is the kickoff to the week and the month. On October 14th, the Center for Economic Growth and Rensselaer CATS are joining together to host the 3rd Annual Advanced Manufacturing Conference, where we'll be helping educators as well as students connect the dots on the future of advanced manufacturing. Michael and I are incredibly lucky to do what we do for a living and actually get paid for it. So, Adine, you're spot on. Do what you love. Thank you so much, Chad. Thank you, Mayor McCarthy, Mayor Rosamilia, Congressman Tonko, and all of our partners. We couldn't do this for this region or the state or the nation without the public-private partnership. So, a big hand of applause for everybody.
Chad, if I could just single in on you here. Last year, we had the chance to take a film on manufacturing. Chad had put together a great team to make certain that we show the strength of manufacturing and the strength that it has for our future. I was proud to be able to work with him to bring the film to the Hill in Washington and showcase it, unveil it before the legislators. And I was so proud to know that this came out of the 20th Congressional District. And Chad, thank you for your leadership in that regard and for today's help, too. Thank you so much.
I want to thank everyone for being here today, and also want to remind people of the tours that are going to happen tomorrow at Tough Traveler from 10 to 2, or 10 to 3:30. 10 to 3:30.
It does need 20 minutes, and it's trip to Schenectady, State Street.
Right on State Street. Great product, long-established manufacturer, and everybody will, I'm sure, be so impressed that they'll want to buy a product there. But again, it's an impressive setup. So anybody tomorrow, stop by and avail yourself of that tour. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Problems. This is a multi-year campaign where we are having an impact in our neighborhoods, but we have to continue to do that. We want to, again, encourage home ownership. We want to encourage people to maintain their property. And when they do that, it creates real value, and it actually reduces the cost of the municipal services. I was just talking to the police chief that a lot of people think of the police as the one that are going to solve the problem. But when we call for the police, it generally means everything else has failed. Common sense, just being a good neighbor, maintaining your property, and that you've created an environment that unfortunately requires interdiction from law enforcement. And so today we will again start this where we will move through the neighborhoods in Schenectady. We're going to start in Goose Hill, where we remind people, point out some of the smaller problems, We want to work with homeowners, building owners, to allow them to fix up their property. If those individuals choose not to act in an affirmative manner, we are going to go after them with the full resources of the city. And again, it's the message we want to get out, where people who want to work with us, we want to work with them, and it really works to everyone's advantage. Those individuals that put their interest really above the common sense and the good of the community, I don't want them here as property owners. And again, we're going to do whatever we can to enforce and make sure that the appropriate penalties are put upon them. Now I'd call on Chief Kilcullen, who is really becoming a leader in terms of managing police resources. You know, we've spearheaded DDAX here, which is data-driven policing, but the chief is doing that in a manner where we're setting an example not only of the deployment of resources within the city of Schenectady, but as we integrate that with other departments and agencies within the community, it's producing results. Our Part 1 crimes are down over the last 4 years, about 25%. It's a model that other communities look to see what we're doing. We're setting an example, and I'm proud of the job that you're doing, and the men and women of the police department. Chief Kilcullen.
Thank you, Mayor. The Mayor referred to our DDAX program, and if you haven't heard, DDAX is our data-driven approaches to crime and traffic safety. And I've spoken about it a lot at our neighborhood association meetings over the last couple of years. And what we do is we map out our crime, we map out our crashes, and we see where they're occurring at the same time, identify our hotspots, and we put resources in those areas to, again, reduce crime and reduce crashes, especially crashes involving injury. And one of the concerns with the neighborhood associations, the neighborhood groups specifically, is if you're putting more resources in those hotspots, what's happening to my neighborhood? And we're not taking resources from neighborhoods where we don't have hotspots. We're putting additional resources there. This is not a DDAX hotspot, but again, we're looking to enhance the quality of life in all of our neighborhoods. Again, we've identified our hotspots and need to put additional resources in those areas, but still need to focus on all the other neighborhoods in the city. And that's what we're doing here today. So again, we're doing the analysis, we're sharing all that information, all our analysis with other city departments, really to enhance the quality of life in the particular neighborhood. And so we're starting here today. We've done this now with our analysis for almost 3 years now, and we've had some real success. In terms of, Mayor mentioned Part 1 crime, we tend to see a greater reduction in crime and crashes in our hotspots than elsewhere. And the reason we're sharing the information with other departments is that we don't have all the resources to reduce those numbers, specifically with the police department, but other city departments do. So we share that information with our code enforcement, with our traffic engineering. So, as I said, our crashes involving injury were brought down by about 40% last year. So if we've identified hotspots where crashes are occurring and we're doing additional enforcement, there are other reasons for those crashes. It might be signage, it might be poor signage, it might be old signs. So we're looking to work with other departments to enhance the quality of life, reduce crashes, reduce crime. As I said, that's what we're doing here today. We've had some success. We're going to continue that throughout the city. So thank you. Thank you for your kind words, Mayor. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Chief. And again, building code, its primary goal is to create a safe environment for people to live and for businesses to operate. And so when people think they're going to do something quick, or it bypasses the building code, there's usually a repercussion from that. And all too often when we have a major fire and incident, it is related to the building code that has not been adhered to. When we're sending this message out, we want to work with people. We want people to be safe. We want them to, again, maintain their property so that we're not sending the fire department there at 2 o'clock in the morning to deal with an issue of a major fire or a life-threatening situation. As Chief Ray Senecal, who commands one of the best departments in the state, actually the best department in the state, right? Chief, on the other side, but thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Mayor. Threw a little curve at you there. To talk a few minutes about what our role is today in the codes operation. We would like to be here, be there early on. That would be today. So we're there when you're not having a fire, when you don't have any issues of that nature. We're there in emergency situations. So today we're going to be looking at smoke detectors, working smoke detectors, batteries in the smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors. We like to make sure that we have those and they're in place, and their batteries are in actually the detectors and not anything else. Look for areas of access and egress, that is things being stored near the doors and actual overall clutter in the building. So there again, this is very positive for us. We like to get out early and take a look at things going on, so we don't, as the mayor said, meet at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning for a structure fire. So more important than detection is prevention, and that's our role here today, is to actually prevent an issue from happening rather than reacting to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Again, want to thank everyone for coming out this morning. I want to again point out that this is not a single-day event, just doing the formal kickoff today, but it is an ongoing undertaking by the city in a coordinated manner to produce long-term and sustainable results. I thank again everyone for being here. I thank the staff who do really a great job every day on behalf of the residents of the city of Schenectady. Thank you.